Hello, welcome back to a new video. Not a riding one today. Just thought I would cover the topic of the bike I bought back in April. So this is kind of a 3-month review. You know, how I got on with it. And that's it really. I've done about just under 2,000 miles in that time. And yeah, without further ado, let's take a look. So, you will have seen this, let me back up a little bit, you will have seen this in a few videos now, with my 600, 800, a couple of 200s, the failed 600, so that was a 300, so I've done a few miles on it now to give an honest opinion, and you know, would I buy it again and all that kind of thing. So, yeah, so the first, I wasn't sure about the looks when I first got it, going back to sort of skinny steel tubes. So it's Columbus tubing, Spirit tubing I believe, and done in a flat purple with white highlights, which are actually reflective, so the logo and everything is reflective. The finishing is actually pretty good. The paint itself is very good. The only little criticism is they've tried to go a little bit to, if you look at the Condor there, I am really picking holes in it here, and the little band on the back isn't done straight. Come on camera, focus on the right thing. But other than that, it's been finishing is very good. Carbon forks with a alloy crane, I think, probably, and dropouts as well. So I suppose you'd call that carbon blades. I thought this wood would be a little bit quieter than this. Everybody and their grandmother's cat is driving by. Yeah, so I've got basically Ultegra rear front and rear mech, Ultegra crank set, so that's a 50-34, 170 cranks, because I'm quite short, and Shimano Dior XT SPD pedals. I paid a few quid more than the standard ones I'd normally get, basically because they've got decent bearings in them. So I have a Dida stem, 100mm, and Dida bars as well. The Dida bars came off my old bike. I bought a new stem for this bike, so that's actually new when I bought the bike. Brooks Swallow saddle, that's nicely broken in now. It was a bit painful to begin with, but it's pretty good now. I find it very comfortable. The brakes themselves are hydraulic disc brakes. So I have hydraulic Ultegra shifters. So it's mechanical shifting. I'm you know, for what I do, I'm not going to go with electronic. And these calipers are not Ultegra. They are BRM 6000. I think they're Dior. Oh yeah, it actually says Dior on there. And they're actually a mountain bike caliper, but they work perfectly fine married up with the Ultegra Eve shifters, and they work perfectly fine. I've not had any problems with them so far, and actually they were on my last bike as well, so they've been used a reasonable amount. As you can see there, a Lezyne pump, which I've got attached to a little cage that's underneath the water bottle cage. The water bottle cages are Bontrager. I forget the actual model name, but they're made from recycled plastic, and they're in a sort of a metallic purple colour, trying to sort of match the rest of the bike. So the bar tape I'm using is actually called BBB gravel ribbon, and it's a bit thicker than normal, and it's like a file pattern and it's rubbery, and I find that really good. I'm definitely going to go and buy that again. It is actually not particularly cheap. It's £16 a roll, you know, a pair, but it's definitely helped me out. I didn't have the tingly fingers on my 800, which I did on the first time round, so I'm assuming that that does its job. Obviously I've got a Garmin out front mount there, and the little black thing you can see next to it is what I mount my GoPro to. I've got a small cube, what's it called, session or something like that, and so if you ever see any footage from the front of the bike, that's where that's come from. It's an alloy one, and then I've got an exposure light mount there as well. So going on to the lights that I've got fitted. So this is a, oh, on focus, that's it. So I've got a Mark II exposure blaze rear light there, and a mount which I've basically conjured up myself. So if you're wondering how I've done that, the black plastic bit is actually for a reflector, and that's married up with a 21mm P-clip, which has a rubber bit on there to protect the light itself. The actual light itself is absolutely great, you know, perfect for what I use it for. And then coming onto the back of a second light here. So this is a Bush & Muller secular light, and they do two versions of this light. A battery operated one, which is what we're looking at now, and they do a dynamo version as well. I've actually got a dynamo version, but obviously not on this bike, so don't run dynamos lights on this bike. So these are prime 38mm carbon wheels. I've had them a few years now. They are tubeless ready. I'm not running tubeless at the moment, mainly because of the cost of tubeless tyres, if I'm honest. They seem to have gone up massively, so yeah, just using tubes and tubes. The tyres themselves are Continental Grand Prix 5000s, 700 by 28C, and I really like those tyres. They roll really well. They're really fast. They're really really good tyre. They're more of a racing tyre, to be fair, but for sort of summer audaxing, they are absolutely fine. Get reasonable wear out of them, probably one season. Well, I've replaced both front and rear this year. Rear one I got a cut in it, I think, from glass, so that was not really, the tyre wasn't completely worn out. I'll probably change the wheels. I got some what I call winter wheels. I'll swap over probably sort of end of October. They got Hope hubs and that kind of thing. Anyway, so what's it like to ride? Well, I find it very comfortable, as you'd expect with steel. It is very compliant, and has a shorter top tube than what my Linsky was. So I've put a slightly longer stem on. So I went from a 90mm to 100mm on this one. So yeah, with 40mm wide bars. I don't go any narrower than 40. Mainly because I like to sometimes put a bar bag on and that kind of thing. I haven't actually done that this year yet, but yeah, so they're 40mm. So would I buy this bike again? Yeah, definitely. They do a different model. I went for this one because I had flat post mount brakes, and this also has post mount brakes, which is kind of like getting a little bit old fashioned now. So but it was just meant that I could get all the kit off my old bike and put it onto this one. So I went with this model. They do a through axle model of this bike, which is has flat mounts and all that kind of thing, and it's like a light pale blue color, and I think grey or something like that. And they also do a rim brake version as well, so if that's more your thing, they do a rim brake version. And the tubes are all the same. The only difference is the dropouts, as you'd expect. Very happy, and like I said, I'd definitely buy another one, and I'd definitely recommend one. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Very happy after 2,000 miles. Oh, one thing I've forgotten to mention, and this is a bit of a top tip. On the top tube here, you can just see where it's starting to bubble up a little bit. But I've put some Gorilla Tape on the top of there. It's see-through, it's completely clear, and that's just to protect the paint. A bit like PPF film for expensive cars. And as you can see, I've got it there so that the cable doesn't rub on the head tube, and I've also put it down here on the chainstay as well for the same reason, just to protect the paint. So yeah, that's this week's video. Yeah, I'm having a weekend off. I've done quite a lot over the last sort of few months. Well, since I've had this bike, really. I mean, even the rides that were the 800, I actually did a half of it. So I didn't do a video for that because I didn't have enough video clips to make a story, if you like. Because I like to try and tell the story of the ride, and I wasn't able to do that on that occasion. So I didn't put one on the channel, and I'm getting covered in flies here, and I keep getting them in my hair and everything. It's really annoying. Anyway, next weekend, don't know what I'm going to do yet. I've kind of planned out a few 200s. I'm also thinking of doing something slightly different, just to mix it up a little bit for later in the year. And I'm thinking of starting to do some of the Cycling UK pre-planned routes. So I'm looking at the Canty Way in Kent, and it's 238k or something, and I think I'm gonna catch a train over to a place called Y near Ashford in Kent, and start and finish from there, and obviously catch a train back. I've already priced up the ticket and that kind of thing, and it's not too silly. So I think I'll probably do that and make a video on that, rather than just keeping it to the Audax stuff. You can definitely have too much of a good thing. Anyway, that's what I'm kind of planning. It's probably the autumn now. I'll probably do that in the autumn because it's the southeast, and you know the weather's a little bit kinder down there, rather than trying to do something in Scotland or Wales or something. Yeah. So anyway, that's my my 3-month review of the bike. Very happy. Would I get another one? Yes, definitely. And I'll speak to you again soon.